96.7 KCAL rocks. It is Monday. One of the best parts of Monday, other than Monday Night Football, is talking sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
Yo, Patrick, good morning, man. Love talking football, but I got to be honest. It might sound like a bad case of sour grapes this morning. I'm going to try to stay composed as I talk about my 49ers and the Rams. And I will say this right off the top. The Rams won the game. Give credit to the Rams, man. They hung around. They didn't lead until they actually won it at the end. So credit to the Rams. Okay, got that out of the way. The 49ers had every opportunity in the world to put that game away. They had no George Kittle. They had no CMC. They had no Deebo Samuel. Brock Purdy played one of the best games I've ever seen him play in a 49ers uniform, and they squandered it away. So it sounds like sour grapes. Credit to the Rams, but the 49ers should not have lost that game.
They shouldn't have, but you're right. They did end it up. God, the NFL is so wild, dude, but you're right. I have Ram friends who were at the game, and of course they were going bananas.
Yes. Yeah, I have some friends who, they're actually Chiefs fans, and they were like, wait, how did you guys lose that game? It felt like the Super Bowl again. Like, you guys were the better team, and you were leading, and all of a sudden at the end, it's like, oh, wait, you guys lost? How did that happen?
Yeah, how is this possible? I know it.
So it was painful. But again, credit to the Rams, man, 27-24. They did win the game. The 49ers could not put them away. Hopefully they'll grow from it, man. You cannot let a team hang around. Step on the gas pedal and keep going.
Yeah, it's tough. Step on their throat when you can. Ugh.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Brandon Ayuk has not been a number one receiver. He got all that money, and he's not looked good. Maybe because he missed training camp. I don't know. Ronnie Bell has no business being in the NFL. I could go on and on, but I'm gonna leave it at that because it's, again, sour grapes.
I thought at the end of the game, Ayuk was going to start duking it out on the sidelines. I mean, it gets nasty in the NFC West, man. It's the black and blue division, I call it now.
It is, man. That long Rams-49ers rivalry goes back a long ways. And the 49ers had that little trick play going at the end, and I saw that with Ayuk on the sideline. But anyway, sour grapes over. Rams won, man. Congrats.
That is a good point, though. The rivalry goes back, and that is kind of part of it. Just like the Rams are supposed to be down right now, right? But it's like a wounded tiger or something, or it's like fighting your brother. They know each other so well. It's tough.
Yeah, if the Rams were playing, I don't know, Jacksonville or whatever, it doesn't feel the same. It's the 49ers, so it just feels different. Yep. All right, so we talked about this last week, that Bryce Young is no longer the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. The old red rifle, Andy Dalton, got in there. What does he do? Dude dropped a huge game, over 300 through the air, 3 touchdowns to beat the Raiders, 36-22. Unbelievable.
Yes. Upset Antonio Pierce at the end of the game said, hey, we had some players who made some business decisions, and we'll be making some business decisions too.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, he's mad. Like, guys weren't going all out. Dude, listen, the Raiders, they beat Baltimore and then turn around and they can't beat Carolina at home? Like, dude, you can't beat Jekyll and Hyde like that. There's no consistency with the silver and black.
You know how it is, though. There's something about when you're supposed to win. It's a bad place to be. I also will put this out there about the Dodgers, who I know we're going to talk about later. They are under that they're supposed to win pressure. I don't like it.
Yeah, some teams, when you're not expecting a lot from them, they've got nothing to lose, right? They can play carefree. But yeah, when you're supposed to win, there is a little bit of that added pressure. So
it's different.
Yeah, but I'm curious. That was a great quote from head coach Antonio Pierce about the business decision. So I'm curious to see guys cut, guys bench. Like, what does that mean? This week for the Raiders.
It means he wants dogs.
Yeah, he does.
Fight to the end. Yeah. And if you're not a dog, you're gone.
Yeah. 36-22. Panthers win. So, listen, there's a lot of 3-0 teams right now in the NFL that kind of maybe surprising, not to you, Patrick, but Seattle's 3-0.
Yes, baby.
Sam Darnold, the former USC backup 49ers quarterback in Minnesota, they're 3-0 now.
Yes, maybe the biggest surprise there. Sam Darnold has been resurrected like nobody's business. USC fans have to kind of be a little happy about that.
Absolutely. He might be your 3 games into the season NFL MVP right now, which is crazy.
At least comeback player of the year already.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Minnesota's 3-0, Seattle's 3-0, the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-0 after they gave Jim Harbaugh his first loss, 20-10, and Patrick, they've been doing it with Justin Fields, not Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they have, man. God, it's hard to predict, right? You can bet on it. It's wild.
Yeah, Pittsburgh was supposed to be solid. They're always solid, man. Mike Tomlin does such a great job with the Steelers. They're never going to be awful, but I don't know if anyone was really looking at Pittsburgh to be one of the better teams in the NFL, but they've sure looked like it. Justin Fields has done enough, at the quarterback position for them, and now they're 3-0. So you look across the league, and of course, Kansas City, whatever, they're 3-0, whatever. But Minnesota, Seattle, Pittsburgh, what's going on?
See, it's the opposite of supposed to win pressure. When they don't expect anything out of you, it's like you're playing with house money or stuff. You'll take more chances. You're playing looser, and it pays off. It's wild. You got to pretend like you don't care, but actually care.
Yes, no, I get that. I totally get that. The NFL's funny like that. So I know it's a long season, but I think it's fun. The parody, have other teams, get off to great starts, and I don't know. Kansas City's 3-0. They're kind of the outlier. Great. They're the two-time defending Super Bowl champions. I get that. But the 49ers and Rams both had big expectations. They've both been, for the most part, kind of slow out of the gate. So it's just kind of weird to see the landscape of the NFL just 3 weeks into the season. It's weird.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick, and finally in the NFL, we got 2 Monday night football games. So if one's not enough, you can double up tonight. We got Jaguars, Bills, and then followed by Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's going to be Joe Burr, the former LSU quarterback, against Jaden Daniels, the former LSU quarterback, both Heisman Trophy winners.
Hey, at least we get to watch Jaden either way, so it should be exciting because he's just Johnny Excitement. There's nothing around it,
Yeah, and when you look at the rookie quarterback class, he really has been one of the better rookie quarterbacks so far through the first couple of games of the season. So we'll see what he can do tonight against a Cincinnati team that, again, had big expectations, haven't fulfilled them that much, had a bad opening loss to New England, played Kansas City down to the wire. In fact, they probably maybe should have beat the Chiefs. Yeah. So they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde too, like the Raiders. Who are these Bengals? I don't think we know yet.
No, we don't.
So we're going to see him on Monday Night Football. Real quick, Patrick, talk some college football. The big game over the weekend. USC falling at the Big House. Listen, Michigan still has their fastball. They can still play. It might not be pretty. It's going to look different. They're going to run the football hard. Their quarterback had, I think, 30-something passing yards, but they still won the game. It's still defense and running the football in that Big Ten country.
Credit to USC, though, for sticking it out to the very end. They fought all the way to the end and narrowly lost. USC could have won that game if they could have stopped that last little bulldozer drive that they did. They just ran it, just like you said. And Michigan, in their home, was able to win. I don't know if they win that game if that's here at USC.
Yeah, it might be different. But we've talked about this before. That's the recipe in the Big Ten. That's certainly Michigan's recipe because they don't have a dominant quarterback that can throw the football. So if you're playing Michigan, you know what they're going to do. The whole stadium knows what they're going to do. They're going to run the football. And USC got the lead late in the game. They just could not stop the Wolverines.
Very Pete Carroll of them to be a second-half team. The first half, it did. I remember the announcers, one of them, I believe, is from the Big Ten. He was very much like, they don't belong here. The second half, they battled back hard, and I was like, oh, come on, USC. Pull it off, man.
Yeah, so it was really, really close. But Michigan, the defending national champion, finding a way to win at the Big House.
Yep.
And finally, Patrick, baseball news as we're all on Ohtani watch. Right now, 53 home runs, 55 stolen bases, just off the charts. In fact, I was looking at all his stats. He's hitting 301 on this Monday morning. He has 123 RBI. This might sound like I'm over-exaggerating, but this might be one of the greatest individual seasons we have ever seen in baseball history.
It really is. I'm trying to think. I cannot remember a player who never went into a slump throughout the entire season. Baseball is so long. There's always a period of time where you will struggle because that's just how it is. That is not the case with Shohei Ohtani. Other than just offensively Barry Bonds, that's the only other person I can think of who has ever played like this. And I mean, I'm surprised that he wasn't getting Barry Bondsed and just walked all the time. I credit the Miami Marlins manager for going after Ohtani. They asked him, why don't you just walk him? He was like, no, stop being a chicken.
Yeah.
We're going after him. And if he hits home run, he hits home run. Credit to him for competing. But it does come down to if you throw it over the plate it's going to be trouble.
Yeah. You know, it cracked me up. Somebody put on Twitter, on X, they're like, hey, not too bad for a pitcher. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, too. So he hasn't pitched this year, but he is when he's healthy. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. So it's just ridiculous. But the Dodgers, they've clinched a postseason spot. They're trying to lock up the National League West. Big series coming up with the Padres. But Shohei Ohtani, man, I'm curious to see where he's going to finish at it. With 53 homers, 55 stolen bases, 55-55? I mean, that's probably what's going to happen.
I mean, that's what we're looking at here. And it does make you wonder, should he put pitching a little more on the back burner? Should they just use him if they need him, not necessarily be a starter because they need that production? Yeah. And, I mean, just look at it. When he focuses on hitting, this is what happens. You might want to keep that.
No, that's a great point. I think the Dodgers have to make a decision in the offseason. What's this going to look like going forward? Maybe he could be like an opener, where the opener goes like an inning or two, or maybe the closer. Right. Like maybe he's the closer for the Dodgers. Like, so I think they have to maybe reconsider how they use him because he's just so good offensively.
Just pitch him every once in a while, to kind of keep him in rhythm. And then in the playoffs, then okay.
Or a six-man rotation. Maybe he's the sixth guy, or I don't know.
When you need him, or if they're struggling, or if, they go down on pitchers so much, then you can move him to the pitching role. Just try to keep him in rhythm because he's been throwing in the bullpen. Yeah. So he could have pitched. I want to see what happens in the playoffs here. Are they going to use him? I'm kind of hoping they do. Then I understand it because it's all or nothing.
Yeah. That's going to be fun to watch how it plays out. You can guarantee that. It's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. And you know who will be here? Our guy, Pep. I can't wait to talk on Thursday. Enjoy your double header of Monday Night Football, Pep. Tell them how to get your stuff.
You know I will. Get my stuff on Inland Sports, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got Inland Sports on the YouTube channel. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.